Welcome back. I'm your host, Darnell Jackson. And in this crypto report, we're going to go in deep a little bit into the mystery about why the young people in Australia are not buying real estate. They're buying crypto. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the most awesome channel in existence, Darnell Jackson Crypto. Now, let's go to the agenda for today. We're talking about why the young people in Australia don't flip houses and they prefer cryptocurrency over real estate, something that's been beat into our heads for generations that we're supposed to value over anything, real estate. Well, let's take a look at why this conversation is happening. This was reported today on Bitcoin.com in an article by Jamie Redman that's titled 2/5 of Australian millennials prefer crypto investments over real estate. Now, shout out to you if you paid attention back in high school. You realize that's about 40%. 40% of millennials they prefer crypto over rental houses. So this is all from a report published by one of my favorite exchanges also, Kraken, and it says that 2/5 of Australian millennials prefer to invest in cryptocurrency assets over real estate. This is a survey that a number of Australians, this survey shows that a number of Australians are losing faith in traditional assets like gold, stocks, and real estate. So here's some comments from Kraken's Australia Managing Director. Basically, the survey conducted by the San Francisco Crypto Exchange indicated that 40%, which I said in the beginning, of millennials believe investing in digital assets like Bitcoin will end up turning into long-term gains. All right. So without going deeper into that, let's just stop for a second and ask a few questions. Why is this the case? Why are young people in Australia who have the money and financial means to buy single-family homes or multi-family homes, why are they going with crypto? Let's go down the lists. Let us count the ways, if you will. Number 1, decentralized. Young millennials in Australia are starting to get their game updated. They're realizing that they don't want to invest in something that has government entities setting up the rules like real estate does. They don't want to get a bank loan or even fill out some lengthy application and then deal with some underwriting process in order to get a bank loan. They also don't want to buy insurance or pay for other expenses and deal with other costs related to owning a physical asset. Okay, anything that's physical, something can happen to it. So you have to insure that loss. But the biggest point that I want to raise in terms of decentralizing your asset is there is no lockdowns. Now, in Australia, this is a really big point. As you can see, they are still dealing with lockdowns here in June 2021. And with all of the control that lockdowns are placing on the residents and the owners of properties, you should be able to understand this does not make for the kind of market you want to put your money in. How can you make money if you can't even leave your house to deal with your property? You can't even, you physically cannot function. However, you can buy crypto. So here's some more information about this story of, this is the 4th shutdown endured by residents so far in the pandemic. Just think about that. They're just locking people down at this point off reflex, it seems, okay? So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the biggest reasons I believe young millennials in Australia, they're skipping the whole real estate landlord lifestyle. Number 2, liquidity. The beauty of crypto is because of all of the decentralized exchanges and even the major exchanges, you can buy and sell at any time, even if you have a loss, which is big, because there are times that you want to dump your investment. You don't have time to wait for it to come back, and that is extremely difficult to do in real estate. If you've ever tried to do a short sale, then you know how difficult that is. If you ever have to negotiate with the bank to accept a lower price than what is owed on a piece of property, this is what's called a short sale. This is the case when, for whatever reason, there's more owed on a property than it's worth. So what you have to do is contact the bank and get them to do what's called a short sale. So they'll sell the property for what it's actually worth, even though someone's got a loan on it for much more. The process of doing that is really a nightmare. If you are in a position where you're owning cryptocurrency and you want to sell it now, you're taking a loss, you can sell it and move that money to a asset that's performing better for you. All right. So now let's take a look at some of what we're seeing that's also related with this issue with the landlords right now, even in America, where there's no lockdown. Let's see what happened here. You're still seeing landlords face tons of pressure as they are having to sign up for government programs like welfare recipients just to get by. Now, is that the lifestyle? Are you really trying to live like a welfare person and you're supposed to be an investor? Here you are filling out government forms just so you can get a little bit of money. That's not the look. And this is happening all over America. There's a story here in the New York Times that's talking about the options for struggling landlords whose tenants can't pay the rent. Does that sound like an opportunity to make a bunch of money right there? Would you like to be in that position? A lot of Australian millennials are taking a look at that and they're saying no. So here's some other reasons. Number 3 is taxes and liens that come with real estate. The thing about taxes with property, physical property, real property, is you have to pay just because you own the property. The reasoning is this is how the county funds the schools, police, etc. This money is extracted from the property. So all property owners have to pay a fee so that the people in the county will have these services, parks, etc. Okay? So as long as you own a piece of property, you're on the hook. It doesn't matter if you're making money or not. It doesn't matter that your property was locked down for the last 12 months because of the beer bug. Okay? So that is definitely not a reason that you want to invest. So this is another benefit for crypto. Crypto, meanwhile, you only pay taxes if there are profits earned. So if you have a loss, you don't have any taxes to pay. And the taxes that you pay are only a part of what you've actually earned. So you have a chance to increase your wealth even after you pay the taxes. Whereas with real estate, you have to pay the taxes even if it decreases your wealth. You see the difference right there? Okay, now number 4. Before we go to that, I want to show you one other story that's talking about this. And it's really, it's not a pretty picture for a real estate investor. Post a comment if you're flipping houses. I see a lot of people talking about flipping properties, wholesaling, and I see a lot of people making it look like it's such an easy thing and you're gonna make so much money. But I'm seeing nothing but stories about evictions being on hold. This is a situation here in New Jersey where the pandemic orders are over. So that means the corona situation is over, but the ban on evictions remains. So that means you got a bunch of people living in homes not paying. Now, if they're living in your property, how is that helping your financial position? All right, so let's go back to the last point, the last reason. Reality trumps realty. The Australian millennials are very wise to adjust their strategy and not be in love with any particular industry. They were wise to recognize that they don't need to fall in love with realty or real estate. They can just focus on the reality that they are better off putting their money in an asset that is basically invisible. No one even can tell if you have it or not. You can carry it around in your pocket. You're not going to be carrying around your rental property in your pocket. You can cross borders with it. If you're going from one part of the country to the other, you can always bring your assets with you. You can't do that with real estate. And as a matter of fact, the further you get away from your property, the higher your expense and management, etc., to make sure you don't lose your money. Here's another chilling article about the status of real estate investors. Now imagine this is you. You're a landlord, and in order to make money, you're waiting on a decision from the Supreme Court. Okay? Here's the story. Landlord group asks Supreme Court to lift moratorium on evicting tenants. So these are landlords that are out here trying to make $1 and can't, because they got people in their properties that won't pay, can't pay, and aren't gonna pay. And it says here that a federal judge ruled in May that the CDC had no power to issue the moratorium on foreclosures. And then it says a federal appeals court left the moratorium in place. So that sounds like you're not going to be getting paid. All right. So let's jump over to what types of crypto the millennials in Australia are likely looking at. Post in the comments your favorite, but I want to talk a little bit about my favorite crypto real estate, and that coin is Mana from Decentraland. Let's take a look at it real quick. I'm going to jump over to Twitter just so you can get familiar with some of the things that Decentraland is doing. If you're a gamer, then you will understand how important these customizations that you're seeing on the screen are. I am not a gamer. However, you cannot deny how important gaming has become to the culture worldwide. And Decentraland is offering some amazing features that were never that were only dreamed of before. So you have the ability to take certain characteristics about your avatars and transfer them from game to game, different platforms. Also, you have the ability to actually build and develop real estate inside of Decentraland. Now, this is, again, I'm not a gamer, so I'm not huge in actually playing these games, but I do follow the trends, and it's easy to see the excitement that people have about what's going on with Decentraland. I definitely also am a big fan of the Mana token. There's also some things Decentraland has going on in NFTs. I would recommend spend some time learning about this particular company. This is an Ethereum token. Let's check them out on Coinbase real quick. Just want to show you a little bit about Decentraland, which is taking a dive in price right now. But let's just see what Coinbase says about Decentraland. Okay, Decentraland Mana, M-A-N-A token, is an Ethereum token that powers the Decentraland virtual reality platform. Mana can be used to pay for virtual plots of land in Decentraland, as well as in-world goods and services. Alright, Decentraland has a market cap of 1.1 billion, volume of 79 million, and a circulating supply of 1.6 billion. It is currently the number 30 coin on Coinbase. I haven't checked where it is on coin market cap, okay? But this coin has performed very well, even though it's in the middle of a crash. But through this market, through this bull market, it has exploded in price to over a 1,000% return in 12 months. So when you look at it from a long-term standpoint, 12 months, somebody has made a 1.6 or 1,600% return. Okay. All right. So that's the report on what's happening down under. Are you a real estate investor? Have you considered investing in crypto? Why do you think Australian young people are passing on physical real estate and choosing crypto? Post your comments. Make sure you subscribe to the most awesome YouTube channel in existence. Share, like. Until the next time. Peace.